you talk about cut down day and that being the worst part of the year. Um, we've seen not only at the NFL but all levels of football the initial relief from players of the okay, I made the roster, but then they end up getting waived because obviously other teams are cutting people down as well. Have you, over the last couple of years, whether it be NFL, USFL, and whatnot, did that also kind of change your mentality on how you talk to guys and whatnot? Like, is that a different conversation, if that makes sense?
Not really. Our rules are a little bit different. Like in the NFL, if there's somebody that's on waivers and you have to make a move, you can do that. You could claim your whole team off waivers if you wanted to, off other people's waivers. We're limited to 8 moves. So once that final cut down day is done, if I want to cut a player, okay, that's technically made the team, I'm only allowed to do that 8 times throughout the course of the season.
Okay.
So you got to be very strategic with that. Now there's certain positions where you say that to heck with it, like, if I need it, or if a guy is such a good player that this guy, okay, like, let's say I'm gonna use an example. Like there's somebody like Dennis Poling, our general manager, was previously the general manager of the Pittsburgh Maulers that are no longer. I was the former head coach of the New Orleans Breakers that are no longer. Okay. If one of us like knew a player and knew him inside and out and knew he was better than the 50th player on our team, then you might make that move. Okay. But you've got to be really strategic because things happen. And so you got to save a couple of those moves. So, it would take a lot for us to probably do that.
Yeah. No, I understand. Thank you, Coach. I know Coach Pat Rapino, UFL News Hub. Coach, going into year 2 of being a defensive coordinator, how are you feeling as far as a little bit more comfortable? Obviously, plenty of time in the NFL as a secondaries coach and playing the position as well, but it's a little bit different when you're the man in the seat, I could imagine.
Oh, I'm enjoying it tremendously. I want to thank Coach Filippo DeFilippo for bringing me in, for allowing me to come back a second year with the Memphis Showboats. There's a lot of familiarity with some of the players that were here last year, and some of those players understand a little bit of my philosophy and how I did things last year. And with the new talent on board, it's just a matter of getting everybody else caught up. But I think we'll be just fine. I'm enjoying it a lot, and we're getting better every day.
Coach, you talk about the new talent on board. Has that altered your scheme a little bit? And when you talk about your philosophy, are you going back to a lot of like the stuff that Dick LeBeau used to run with the Steelers and whatnot?
No, I mean, there is some things, some legacy things from the Steelers. Obviously, definitely can't deny that a lot of those things worked. And really just looking at the talent. And last year we had a bunch of injuries and we had to make some adjustments on the run kind of early in the season to match the defense to the talent that we have. And I'll continue to do that. I want to make sure that I try to put these players that we have in the proper position to let them make plays. So, we may have a hybrid outside linebacker, for instance, who may have come to us, who was used to putting his hand in the ground in a 3-point stance as a defensive end or an edge guy. And so if we can get him to stand up and through the kind of scouting that we did, and we think he can stand up on the edge, kind of like TJ Watt could put his hand in the ground and stand up too. I mean, that's, we're comparing all pros with the guys that we have, but the concept's the same. We adapt. The players need to adapt. And I think we got a good thing going. And matter of fact, we got a hybrid a little bit here because we got several guys that can do both. They can stand up in a 3-4 defense. And if we want to, we can put them down in a 3-point stance and run a 4-3, and which we did a little bit last year. So I'm excited about that possibility.
Time for a couple more here, guys.
Coach, do you feel like because of that, going into year 2, that you're able to kind of progress a little bit further in your install, pushing things to the left a little bit rather than last year going with more base stuff and then, getting more advanced with stunts and different types of coverages and whatnot?
Absolutely. I think there was, our hands were tied a little bit in previous years. The first year we had about 10 days of camp for the players before the first game. Last year we had maybe 2 weeks. And so this year we have almost a full month. And that's a real big difference in terms of installing and how much you can install and how much you can practice to perfect it. So part of it depended on the schedule, just like this year. So I'm really excited about this camp because I feel like we have a lot more time to work on the basics, but we can also expand the playbook.
DJ, the ability to work with a guy like Carnell Lake, who's not only coached at a very high level, but also played at a high level. What's the first thing that kind of bounces off the map when you have him and the scheme that he's running?
Coach Lake is a technician. He cares about the little things, the moral things, not just the, you know, if you give a big play, a big ball, he wants to see where every little spectator come from. So it be man coverage, zone coverage, coverage too. Though I was so grateful to have Coach Lake now, just him being like a fundamental coach, just caring about the little things, making each and every player better. We got a great chance to have a great season this year.
Vontae, going into year 3 of this, obviously a lot of uncertainty in the merger and everything like that, but how comfortable do you feel as a professional that now you have essentially 3 full off seasons of knowing consistent gainful employment, essentially, especially from these other leagues that we've seen pop up since 2019?
I'm pretty comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I think that this spring league, you know, I couldn't say this last year, but I really, really believe that this spring league with the merger is going to be something that sticks around. If you look around all 8 teams, we really have enough talent to have 12 teams, 14 teams, 15, you know what I'm saying? There's every team in the league is an all-star team in my book. You know, they all have great players from first team all the way down to the 4th team. So I'm really comfortable. I really believe that this is going to be something great for football, great for guys that want to compete, and great for just people that love the game itself. Like I said, it's going to be an all-star league, so you just never know what's going to happen, but I really believe that this is going to be amazing. And for me personally, the guy that's been bounced around from league to league to league to league since 2018, this is the more, I don't know how to say it, like the more, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Consistent, stable.
Thank you, stable. Thank you for the help. The most stable thing I've been a part of other than the CFL. And, you know, obviously the CFL has been around a lot longer than a lot of other leagues, and I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's the NFL as well. They got the NFL beat by a couple of years, so they're a little bit more stable. But other than that, I've played in the AAF that didn't last. I played in the Arena League too that didn't last. You know, I've done everything, man, everything that you can think of, and it's just this right here. I feel like they've done the job above my pay grade. They've done a great job to make sure that this would be something to last. And I really appreciate the guys that have done that, and the ladies.
In year 7, that this is kind of the tipping point as far as transitioning from, you know, younger guy to now being a mentor to a lot of these younger players coming up, like a Dylan Moses, who's been eligible since 21, and other players on the roster?
Yeah, I've played that role the last 3 years, or 2 years, including this one, of kind of helping guys, because I have been a lot of different rooms with a lot of great players. But now this year, being an older guy, almost 30, being, you know, a guy that can't help, I have gravitated to more of being, like you just said, more of a mentor, more of a big brother per se, instead of just always calling someone big bro. People are calling me big bro now, so it's a little different. But I like the role. I like that sense of responsibility, because if you can't teach it, you really don't know it. And that's how I feel about football. So, you know, if a guy has a question and I can't answer it, that just tells me as a football player, I need to go sharpen my skills. But the fact of the matter is, I love it helping these guys. I love making them better, which makes me better, because there's a lot of our whole entire room, from inside backer to outside backer, is full of talent from top to bottom. So you just never, we're making it very hard for coaches to make a decision here, at least in a whole around the board on the Memphis Showboats. But in our room specifically, it's hard. It's gonna be tough for them, because it's a lot of talent, and everyone's picking up the book. Everyone's asking those questions. And like I said, between me, TJ Neal, and Shaheed, You know, we're one of the older guys in the league or in the team, so that helps a lot. That helps a lot. We played a lot of football, so it does help.